Hi guys, today I'm going to be revealing what my fourth best palette of 2021 is. This is a series that I do every year on my channel if you missed my other videos. First I did a video ranking basically my numbers 15 to number 6 spot. I will link that in the corner, and then I've done a separate video with my number 5 palette of the year. So if you want to see what ended up in my number 5 spot, I will link that video up there as well. Today I'm going to be showing you what my fourth best palette of 2021 is. And maybe you can guess by the lipstick that I'm wearing, because I wanted something that would go with the palette that I'm going to be using no matter what look I did. And I felt like using some kind of a brown would kind of be a hint. And don't worry, it's not a brown palette, it's not a neutral palette. This is a very, very new palette in my collection, and it's the only reason why it didn't end up even higher, because I just haven't had enough time to play with this palette to warrant it being higher than this. But I still just felt like this palette is so good, it needed to be really, really high up in my rankings, and I'm so excited to be using this again, like so excited. So the number 4 palette of the year is going to go to the Ace Beauté Tropical Vibes palette. If you for some reason haven't seen this, it's just perfect. I don't know what else to say. I'm so excited to be doing a look with this. So that's basically just what we're gonna go ahead and do. We're just gonna have some fun. We're just gonna play with some makeup. We're just gonna do a beautiful look, because I know that no matter what I do with this palette, it's gonna end up turning out just great, because this palette is fantastic and I love the color story, and it's gonna be so, I would say grungy, but not all looks that you do with this has to be grungy. So I'm not really sure what it is that I wanna do. I just know that it's gonna be a good time. So I'm just priming with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base as usual, and then I'll try to figure out what it is that I want to do. Maybe I want to do something a little bit different. Maybe I just want to keep it to a classic eyeshadow shape. I don't really know. Maybe I'll go on Instagram and see if I can get just inspired a little bit to maybe try something new, because I am in the mood to just sort of play with makeup a little bit. Okay, so I found this picture that I had on my phone for such a long time, and it's something that I tagged, or I saved it because I thought it was so cool, and I kind of want to do something a little bit similar, because I just feel like that would look awesome. So what my plan is going to be is, I found the eyeliner that I want to use, and I'm going to use this one from Melt as sort of my graphic liner, and this is a metallic green. So what I want to do is I want to do like a lighter color on my lid and then a darker green underneath my eye that's kind of the same color as this, to sort of mimic the same look that she has going on. I'm probably not going to do like the exact shape of her look, I'm not really sure, but I think what I want to do is I want to use probably the chartreuse like all over my lid, because I just think that that would look beautiful. I don't really do a lot of all matte eye looks, so I'm not sure how exactly this is gonna go, but we're gonna try it. I do feel like if there's ever a formula that's gonna be good enough to do this with, it's gonna be the Ace Beauté one, because it is super pigmented. So I'm just gonna make sure I tap on my eyeshadow primer a little bit here, and I'm gonna go into the shade called Chartreuse. I am using my Rephr 14 here because I want to have like quite a large brush that I can just sort of pack onto my lid with, but also blend out once I get to that point. So we'll see how this color looks on the lid. I might have to layer a shimmer over the top of it, because a lot of the time mattes just don't lay that nicely on my eyes. So we'll just kind of see how this ends up looking. But I mean, that looks really nice and bright. So once I have it on my lid, I'm just going to blend it up into my crease, and I am going to blend it quite high up, because that line on me is going to have to be quite high, because I do have such hooded eyes that I do need to make sure that the graphic line is going to show when my eye is open, and for that to happen it needs to be very, very high up. But oh my god, like this color is performing so well on my lid. I'm kind of surprised, because usually mattes tend to just not look that great on my lid. So I'm going to do this in a bit of a round shape, I think, and not the kind of like cat eye that she has going on, because she just has a different eye shape than I do. So I'm gonna instead use the liner part to create a little bit of a, not a wing, but just a little bit more of a lifted eye. That looks so good. I'm so excited about this look already. And I also really need to do a 3-look video with this palette. It's so hard to make time. Like, it's so hard to make time, because I only have so many eyes and I only have so many days in a week, which I'm sure you can all relate to. But I'm just really excited to be playing with this palette again, because it is so beautiful and the color story is so inspiring to me, and I feel like you can do so much with this. Like, despite it being kind of monochromatic, it's really not that monochromatic. Like, there's so many color combinations that you can use with this palette and get different looks out of, and I feel like I would never get sick of this. Like, maybe if it was the only palette in my collection, maybe I would get sick of it. But thankfully that is not the case, so I really don't think that I ever will. But this looks so nice. Like, I really like that. That is super nice and bright. So what I'm gonna do, I'm thinking the closest to this one is probably going to be the shade Palawan. I'm probably butchering that, but I think I'm gonna take this shade and smoke that out underneath my eye, and we'll kind of see what happens. I don't really have like much more of a plan than that. Probably gonna do like an inner corner highlight as well. I know that her look was all matte, but my look isn't going to be exactly the same because I basically do what I want. And I also don't have the same eye shape as her, so it's just not going to look exactly the same, but that is okay. You just kind of have to adjust things to your own eye shape and how it is that you like your makeup to look here. So I'm just gonna make sure that I'm not pulling this up onto my lid, but I am going to just wing it out a little bit here. Not like a ton, I just want like a little bit of a lift just on the outer corner. Just going back in with the lid shade one more time, just make sure that everything is nice and intensified. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the liner. I really don't want to fuck this up, because if I do, when I have a matte on the lid, I'm not gonna be able to fix that. So fingers crossed I do a good job the first time, because I only have one chance. Just why graphic liners are so intimidating to me and so scary. But they also just look so good. Like, when you get it right, they just look so good. So I need to find like a good brush for this. Let me do, is that one a little bit too long maybe? Maybe I'll try this. So this is one of the Cut Creaser collab brushes with by Melolo. I don't know that name. I will try to find them and list them down below. But these are like really, really small, precise brushes that are supposed to be really good for this. I don't use them much because they're like too thin to use for my gel liners, I feel like, to do like a, you know, like a wing or something like that. But for this, I think they'll be okay. And these liners are so creamy. This is the one from Melt. This was from their butterfly collection, which I did buy the whole package. I do have a video of the full collection. I will link that if you want to check it out. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this line. I'm just gonna put like a little line right above my eye here. Just keeping my eye open. I just wanna make sure that I get this in the right position, and then I can kind of work from there. So I'm gonna do the same on this eye as well. Again, I'm doing it with my eye open. And it's gonna be right above like the crease, and I see now that this one is a little bit higher than this one, so I am gonna go ahead and just make it a little bit thicker, but that is okay. You just have to kind of take it slow here. And I'm just gonna work on the shape of this to get this the way that I want it to be. Not sure exactly how I like this, but I do think that once I get like everything done, it's gonna come together. I just need to make sure that I don't like overdo it with this line, because I do want it to be kind of not subtle, but also not like super obvious unless you're like close to me, you know? So I'm pulling my liner in and down a little bit more than what she had in the photo, because I just felt like that's just gonna look a little bit better. And I'm toying with the idea of sort of winging this out a little bit on the outer corner here too, but I could also just leave it like this. Like, I think I might just leave it like this. I think that's where I'm gonna leave this. Leave. How many times can I say leave in one sentence? Let me just kind of look at her photo and see. So she also did like the little thing in the inner corner of her eye, which I am so bad at. Maybe I'll try it. I don't know. I don't want to mess up this look more than I already have. I am going to use an inner corner shade though, and for that I'm going to take the shade called Rainforest, which is the lightest shimmer in this palette. This is very, very metallic and a little bit chunky, so I am going to go ahead and spray this because otherwise it's going to be a little bit hard to get a nice smooth application here and no fallout, because like I said, it's a little bit on the chunky side, which I don't really mind that. You just have to be a little bit careful when applying it so that you don't get it all over your face. Like I prefer having shimmers in my inner corner. I can't help it. Like all matte eye looks for me just don't really do it. So I'm just gonna put this in my inner corner as my inner corner highlight, and then I'll see if I want to do anything else with this or if I just want to leave it the way it is. I think this is pretty cool. Like it's kind of editorial and different, and I like that. I'm gonna take a bit more of the matte shade. Just want to kind of fade this out a little bit more, just like in the outer corner here. And just go over my lid one more time. Man, I love this matte. This matte is so good. It's looking a little bit darker on my eye, but that is because it sort of oxidizes when it gets in touch with the wet eyeshadow primer, and that is totally okay. If I wanted this to be white or more true to color, true to pan, like brighter, because you can definitely see that it's not as bright on my eye, I could go in with a white eyeshadow primer, but I'm too lazy for that. Like that is just not my thing. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just put on some mascara and something in my waterline and finish off the rest of my face, and I think that's gonna be it. Like I don't think I want to do anything extra. Like the lines here aren't looking the absolute best, but I think that if I go in and fuss with them more, I might just mess them up. But we'll see what happens when I'm done with the look. Maybe I'll play around with it just a little bit more to get it to look perfect, but for now this is just where I'm going to leave it. Okay, and this is the final look. I didn't do anything really. I fixed just a little bit on the liner here just to make sure the line was smooth. It's still not perfect, but that is okay. And then I just did some mascara and some blush and some highlighter. So for my blush today, I'm using the Menagerie blush palette, and I'm using kind of a mix of this one and this one. This one's sort of closer to my cheek, and then this one like further in the back. And I really like this blush palette, and I thought that having some kind of a yellowy orangey blush moment would be kind of cute with this look, and I think I like it, especially with the lipstick as well. If you want to know, my lipstick is actually one that I bought from Juvia's Place, because when they first came out with these, I bought a color and I hated the color on myself, so I never really used it and I never really gave it a chance. So when I was at Ulta 2 weeks ago, I bought another one, and this is a brown one, and this is the color that I wanted the first one that I bought to be, but the other one turned out to be just too light and too yellow base. There was something about that color that I just did not like it at all, but this is more of a warm brown, and this is my favorite kind of brown, and I'm very curious about these lipsticks to just see kind of how they wear and stuff. This is in the shade Toffee, if you're wondering. I think it is beautiful. It's very comfortable. They're definitely like, they're not a matte lipstick, and I feel like it's going to transfer quite a bit. I don't know too much about these. I do remember they were quite hype when they came out. I literally just like smacked my earring. Why am I like this? I don't know. But there was quite a lot of hype when these first came out, and a lot of people seem to love them. So far, good first impression. I do like how they feel, and I'm excited to wear it and just see how they really perform. But yeah, that's basically gonna be it. I like this look, but I don't think I love it. I don't know what it is. I feel like something is missing, and I don't know exactly what it is or what I could have done differently to, I don't know, just make it a little bit more. I don't know what's missing. But I feel like something is missing, but I still think that the palette performed like a dream. It's a wonderful palette, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection, and I'm so excited to play more with it, and it totally deserved to be the #4 spot of the year, maybe even higher. I don't know. I just, like I said, I haven't had enough time to play with it, and it's such a new palette that it was hard for me to justify putting it higher up, because all of the other palettes that are in the top 3 are just like absolutely amazing, and I've played a lot with all 3 of them, and I keep reaching for them still, and I can't say that about this palette yet because I haven't had it for that long, but I still love it, and I think it is one of the best releases of the year. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to see some more Annette videos, I will put my playlist of this year up on the screen, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.